Welcome to King's official guide on the use of mist potions for effective use inside the Fractals of the Mists. Currently, there exists 4 different kinds of mist potions. There is an offensive, a defensive, a mobility potion, and the Anguish Tear of Alba. Once activated, the offensive, defensive, and mobility potions last for 30 minutes, and the Anguish Tear of Alba lasts for a full hour. Each of these are bought with fractal relics and come in 3 different sizes, since the potions can stack in intensity, with the maximum intensity being 5 stacks of each of the different potions, except for the Anguish Tear of Alba, which can only have 1 stack. For each of the potions, you can either choose the cheap regular potions, which give you a single stack, the large potions, which instantly give you the maximum of 5 stacks, and lastly, we have the infinite potions, which not only give you the maximum 5 stacks, but can also be used indefinitely. These of course come at quite an increased price. To be specific, the infinite potions are exactly 200 times more expensive than the large potions, which quite simply means that if you were to buy large potions for 200 days of fractals, you would have used the same number of relics as you would have had to spend getting the infinite ones. So do yourself a favor and save your relics for the infinite potions. The Mist Offensive Potion is arguably the most influential potion to your performance, and is therefore also priced at a higher price than the others. The Offensive Potion increases your outgoing damage inside the Fractals of the Mists by doing several different things. Firstly, if you have the Fractal Attunement Mastery, the potion will convert a portion of your agony resistance to precision. Each point of agony resistance grants you 0.3 precision per stack of the potion. This means that if you have 150 agony resistance, which is the recommended amount for the master tier level, you will receive 45 points of precision per stack, which with 5 stacks equates to a total of 225 extra precision points, which roughly translates into about 10% extra critical chance. On top of that, your outgoing damage is increased by 3% per stack, and your outgoing condition damage in fractals is increased by 3% per stack, a total of 15% extra raw power and condition damage. The Mist Defensive Potion is quite a powerful potion as well. This potion decreases incoming damage to you, and with the Fractal Attunement Mastery, it also converts a portion of your agony resistance to toughness. Each point of agony resistance grants 0.3 toughness per stack of the potion. Again, this means that if you have 150 agony resistance, you will receive 45 points of toughness per stack, which with 5 stacks equates to a total of 225 extra toughness. The best part of this potion though is that it also reduces incoming damage by 5% per stack, making it possible to reduce your incoming damage by a total of 25%, which in itself can be quite a lifesaver at times. The Mist Mobility Potion is not for every profession, though it might be quite tempting. Firstly, this potion increases your movement speed in the Fractals of the Mists, adding 5% movement speed per stack to yourself. And with the Fractal Attunement Mastery, it also converts a portion of your agony resistance to concentration. Each point of agony resistance will grant you 0.3 concentration points per stack of the potion, which, for a third time, means that if you have 150 agony resistance, you will receive 45 points of concentration per stack, which with 5 stacks equates to a total of 225 extra concentration points. This translates into an added 15% boon duration, which for certain professions such as mesmers, revenants, and at times warriors can be extremely useful. But the last thing that the potion applies is a 10% increase in endurance recharge per stack, which with all 5 stacks adds up to 50% increased endurance recharge. For most professions and players, this increase can be amazing. But for certain professions, this potion actually becomes an overall damage decrease. This applies to thieves who run the trait Staff Master that gives bonus damage while your endurance isn't full, and warriors who run the strength trait line with the forced minor trait called Stick and Move, which also gives you a damage bonus when your endurance isn't full. All in all, use this potion with some caution and weigh the pros against the cons, depending on your chosen profession. The last potion is the Anguish Tear of Alba. This potion, however, does not come in an infinite version, nor does it stack in intensity. The Anguish Tear of Alba grants you 10 extra agony resistance, or 15 extra agony resistance if you have the Fractal Attunement Mastery. The use of this potion is, for the most part, to simply be used by players who lack the proper agony resistance on their armor, effectively acting as a cheaper alternative to purchasing expensive infusions. But it can indeed be argued that in tandem with all the other potions and 150 agony resistance, the Anguish Tear of Alba will also provide you with extra precision, toughness, and concentration, which realistically you won't ever notice in any situation, but still, It's worth mentioning for those of you who aim for their absolute maximum potential. Now, with the latest update to the fractal potions, it is now possible to combine the Infinite Mist offensive, defensive, and mobility potions along with 5 Gifts of Ascension in the Mystic Forge to create an Infinite Mists Omnipotion. This potion will apply the effects of all 3 infinite potions once activated, and lasts for 2 hours. But do be cautious before crafting it, however, because as I said before, the Mist Mobility Potion effect is not necessarily for every profession to use. And with the Omni Potion, you cannot deselect any of the effects. All of these potions have amazing effectiveness for your everyday fractal runs, but whether they are worth the cost is obviously up to the individual to decide. Still, I would personally recommend anyone who regularly runs fractals at the master tier level to purchase these, as they can make any given run so much more enjoyable. And that was all you needed to know about the pros and cons of each mist potion. Thank you all for watching. Until next time, I will see you in the mists.